This episode of the No Name Film Show Thingy is brought to you by Live Lots from the Foster Gallery. Live Lots is an online marketplace at the Foster Gallery that provides one-time runs in monthly increments of low-cost artwork that can be bought and shipped directly to your home. Find out more at www.thefostergallery.com.
Okay, I'm good. All right. Hi, everybody. This is Matt Foster, and this is now the third episode of the No Name Film Show Thingy, which I'm working on the T-shirt now, Kevin. So
awesome.
Yeah, we will have a T-shirt up on Zazzle soon, and I'm trying to get a little. I've got to go through my. There's a design methodology where you slap on stuff and you peek out and then you trim it back down. Yeah. I'm still on my peek up,
Okay,
so, but within a week, I guarantee you we will have on Zazzle a film show thingy T-shirt ready to go.
Awesome. I'm so excited.
I know, that'll be cool, won't it? So today is episode 3. I'm Kevin Wynn Lewis, back again, ready for action. So today we're going to talk about a very interesting subject, actually. Which is the future of film in many ways, right? Which is the sites on the web that promote good film, I guess, would be the way I would say it.
I definitely agree with that statement.
Okay. So this is, I don't want to say that it's a niche thing because it's definitely popular, but I mean your average consumer may not be aware of them. So we figured we'd take an episode and let you, really, you're the expert on this more than me, but clue us in on what are the hot spots on the web to find like good both art video but also commercial video and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people don't realize there's a lot of really cool free film on the web. Yep. Everybody's, starting to slowly, become more Netflix users, Hulu users, HBO Go, all that stuff. But there's also a lot of free content that a lot of independent filmmakers put up on the web as a whole. Yep. Some of the websites we're going to show you are just really, really phenomenal, really more geared towards just art film. Some of them are a little broader, but we'll tell you when we come along to them.
Okay.
So the first website I'm going to talk about is called Short of the Week. It's shortoftheweek.com is the URL.
Okay.
The prettiest website on this list for sure. Being a web design nerd, it's very well laid out, makes a lot of sense. Sometimes some of these websites don't make any sense on how they're laid out. But this pretty much just lists really, really good short films from all across the web. This is pretty much where I find like my premier art films.
Okay.
All the really, really good art shorts I tend to find right on here.
Now let me ask a question about when we say art short, and I'm saying this both for myself but also for the average person watching. Is that when we say art short, are we saying like an independent project by just a single filmmaker, or are these still produced pieces by a team?
Well, you're going to look at pretty much every film that's produced by a team.
Okay.
It's near impossible to do one movie by yourself.
Gotcha. Okay.
Usually it's a very small group.
Okay.
Shorts, you don't need as many people. Shorts are usually made because of either budget issues or it just fits the story, stuff like that. But they don't usually need as many people unless it's a giant animation project or something. Now, for definition of art shorts, these are shorts that either have been in festivals already, are considered more high art than the average, just, YouTube short. You'll hear me say that a lot throughout the episode, probably. Okay. But these are very, very well thought, put together, took some serious time to make these shorts.
Okay.
And what's cool about this website is they actually like break them down by what they are. So like dramas, thrillers, documentaries, there's pretty much everything on here. Okay. They even got a dramedy tag, thankfully, which is comedy, drama mixed together. You'll actually see some bigger stars on this one too. Some of these shorts have like Michael Cera, for instance, I know is in a few shorts on this website. Some decently bigger names. Sometimes you'll come across and sometimes you'll see people early in their careers too. A lot of the next big actors are somewhere in these shorts.
No kidding. Yeah, yeah. So does this become kind of like a for baseball, like a farm team type thing? I mean, is this a breeding ground?
Yeah, this is kind of AAA in a collaborative sense.
Okay.
You get a lot of people. What's cool about the internet and putting your own films up on the internet now, especially for free, is you can get feedback almost instantaneously if it's really well done and gets a lot of attention. And you also put them on sites like Vimeo, which we will be getting to next. Which is really kind of a YouTube for filmmakers. You really have a good network of just random people from across the whole world who are willing to talk to you about your film.
Great.
So that's pretty awesome. But yeah, there's really, it's a really simple website. You guys can there's great stuff on there. They also have a bunch of articles.
It is really nicely designed. I mean, I was just clicking through it here, and you're right. It seems like there's a ton of content.
These guys really, really, really take this blog very seriously.
Is this a curated list, or is this the kind of site where if you submit it, it gets posted, or is it curated?
It's curated. You can submit a film. Yeah. But you're going to be, it's almost like a mini film festival within itself, You're basically you have all the curators, so all the people who write all the articles and stuff as well. They basically go through the internet and they watch a lot of shorts, I guess, and also go through a lot of shorts linked in their email and kind of, pick the new hottest one of that week.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I mean, I'm looking through, I'm happen to be looking through the arts list, but you got a film here that's narrated by Tom Waits. Oh yeah. You've got, just doing a really not looking too deep into it. Yeah. I saw one where the whole project was taken over by Tom Green. Mm-hmm. I mean, so it's not just it seems to me like it's a mashup of kid down the street making his way out there, plus big names, all kind of in the same genre, Yeah,
well, that's kind of the thing that's happening with a lot of how the internet and film works together now. You have things like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, which are crowdfunding websites. And for those of you who don't know what crowdfunding is, it's basically you can ask your direct social media audience to donate money towards a project of some sorts. Yeah. And if the project it's kind of almost it has almost made it very democratic in a way that really good ideas get a really, really wide audience because of, their good ideas. It doesn't necessarily matter who it's from. Yeah. Word of mouth and Twitter and all that fun stuff now.
Well, it's like the ultimate grassroots effort,
Yes, literally. It quite literally is. Yeah. But, sometimes these grassroots efforts start to get noticed by certain celebrities who might have some money to donate, and sometimes they'll take people under their wing. I've heard of that happening a few times. You never know who your website's going to come by, basically, at that point. So it's really...
I see on here one of the... You can sort by style, which is kind of cool, because I noticed that they have machinima as a style, which is kind of neat. And then they also have motion comics. Yep. Which is just kind of an interesting thing. But they have puppetry, they got stop motion. I mean, yeah, it's pretty inclusive.
Yeah, no, they pretty much got everything in here, which is, I really like how they break it down too, because they break it down by genre, topic, and style. Nice. So you can really depending on what mood you're in or what you want to watch, it's like, I want to watch something about music or a documentary or something that's heavy in special effects,
Right, right.
It's really nice if you're kind of a little bit indecisive and you want to narrow it down, because there are a lot of shorts out there. Yeah. But yeah, no, this is a great website. You want to talk about the next one?
Yeah, sure.
All right. We got Vimeo.com. Now, I mentioned this a little earlier. I'm sure you're familiar with Vimeo a little bit. It's a little popular nowadays. I've been using Vimeo for a long while now because they used to have the better high def encoder when you uploaded videos online. So your videos tended to look a lot nicer on Vimeo than they did on YouTube. So me as a filmmaker really liked Vimeo. And it's really started to really blossom over the last few years, and it's really got a great creative community. Now, the cool thing about it is everybody basically uploads their demo reels, their shorts, anything that a lot of industry people look for and kind of use it as their running online portfolio. So you have this huge collection of film from a lot of independent or not big yet filmmakers on this. And Vimeo, the folks at Vimeo have done a great job at curating their own stuff for their staff picks section, which is vimeo.com/channel/staff picks. And they just, this list just goes on and on because they've been doing it since basically the website started up.
Well, and I remember back in the old days, I say old days, a couple of years ago, Vimeo was kind of like the highbrow alternative, right, to YouTube, because you're right. I mean, I remember distinctly thinking that they had much better quality videos, but also, and I don't think this is a problem anymore because I think YouTube's addressed this, but it used to be the only place where you could put a video on that was more than 20 minutes or whatever.
Yes, you know? YouTube has more or less fixed that. Vimeo, now you actually have to, you have like an actual size cap for your files. Oh, okay. So you have to, you kind of might have to get the Pro if you're trying to put a full movie on there. Right. But no, for a while they were the only ones who you could put extended videos on for something more than almost 5 minutes. I think was like the YouTube cutoff. Right. But yeah, no, what's really cool about their staff picks is it's not necessarily shorts. A lot of them are sometimes camera tests or camera tricks or something of the sort that a lot of like cinematographers or amateur cinematographers put up. So sometimes you get like time-lapse shots or some weird kind of stop-motion animation experiment that people are testing out.
So it's guys like trying things out and you're actually just sharing your experiment with other people.
Yeah, a lot of the times, yes.
That's cool.
A lot of people actually will use this, for parts of their portfolio too, just showing specific chunks of what they did. I actually saw not too long ago on Staff Picks the guys who did the intro sequence for Tron Legacy.
Okay, cool.
And they actually show their whole process. So they show all the different renderings. They actually just show the original grid pattern they came up with, and then them digitally building the city around it. That's cool. All that. Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's really interesting too, especially if you've never seen like the different steps of special effects. Yeah. It'll blow your mind once or twice,
So you as a filmmaker actually use Vimeo as like a learning tool then? I mean,
yeah, a lot of the times. There's a lot of tutorials. I get a lot of ideas off of this.
No kidding.
There's some really cool work that gets put up on here, and a lot of people who do film festivals, if they have like really just small side projects that they're not gonna really like necessarily, they're not gonna go anywhere, they just load them up onto Vimeo usually.
Now Vimeo is also one of those. This is the part of the conversation I do know about. Yeah. Vimeo is also one of the services that you can get on your TV. You can get it as an app on your phone. So it's not just a website, where it's a little bit more like a YouTube experience where, like, I know on my Roku box I can get Vimeo, and I can actually watch Vimeo like I'm watching a per order TV station. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Which is nice because, I mean, in all honesty, like Xbox, I believe Vimeo's on Xbox, isn't it? Can you get Vimeo as one of the things on Xbox?
I don't know.
I thought you could. I'm
pretty sure you can get some video service, but I don't know if it's Vimeo or not.
Yeah. Well, I know you can get YouTube, you can get some of the other ones. I thought Vimeo was one of them. But I guess what I'm getting at is they're kind of bridging that gap of it's not just a website for video.
Yes.
You can actually sit in front of your TV and watch it also,
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, a lot of, computers, especially any of the desktops people are buying now, they're coming in cinema formats almost, they're huge screens. So, people are using their computers as TVs more too.
That's true. Yep.
But yeah, no, Vimeo's also great for music videos.
Ah, okay.
The music videos, especially the ones that necessarily won't, they're more for independent artists or artists that are considered more fine art, like a lot of like Frank Ocean. I don't know if you're familiar with the singer. A lot of Frank Ocean's videos originally premiere on Vimeo and then slowly make it over to YouTube kind of thing.
Gotcha.
But it's posted by the actual person who directs those videos.
Ah, so it was kind of an early. I gotcha. Yeah, early in on it.
And there's a collection of some great music videos on there. But yeah, Vimeo is pretty much, if you're gonna start anywhere, Vimeo is a great place if you just want to kind of just randomly click around and find some good stuff.
Okay, cool, nice.
Let's see, what do we got next? We got I'm gonna talk about a specific YouTube channel.
Okay.
This is the Screening Room. It's brought to you by the Sundance Institute, which they put on the Sundance Film Festival as well. They're also kind of like a school. They do fellowships, stuff like that, and they kind of, help guide new filmmakers, and especially international filmmakers too. They have a huge international program there. We'll put the link in the show notes because it's a little long and I'm not going to confuse all of you. Read that out loud.
Yeah, I'll list all of these in here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So basically all the films on here are curated by the Sundance team, and they usually have something to do with Sundance, whether they're in the festival or they're just out of the Institute. You're looking at a lot of like almost thesis work here.
Okay.
Lots of international stuff. All the international stuff tends to have subtitles so you guys can understand it. Do not try to use the new YouTube translation tool. I've been testing that out, and it does not work at all.
It's not good? Oh, yeah?
Oh, God. It's so funny because I was going to try and see how accurate it was, and I was just trying to do English to English, and it didn't even work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's actively taking whatever the person is saying and then trying to write it out like voice command style, but it's going really fast, so it doesn't work really well at all.
So let me ask you something. So are these, you're saying it's curated by Sundance?
Mm-hmm.
Is this considered like in painters' terms, the salon de refuse, but are these the things that didn't quite make it to the real festival, or are these things that did make it, but they're also interspersed with other stuff too?
Yeah, basically the stuff that Sundance deemed good enough to put their name behind.
Okay, all right.
So that it's a lot of stuff. Some of the stuff's in the festival, some of the stuff's from the Institute. It's all stuff having to mainly do with Sundance, though.
Okay, gotcha.
This is a great whole chunk of playlist. There's they have a bunch of Sundance playlists listed on the side. Stuff with like. They even have the DVD extras of some of these shorts on here.
That's
so
cool. Nice.
There's some cool stuff. They have, I think it's something like a little over 100 shorts on there just from the last few years.
Oh, wow.
They just started doing this not too long ago, so it's still pretty new.
But not such a short list that you're going to get bored after a couple.
Yeah,
minutes.
exactly. And some of these shorts are a few minutes. Some of these shorts are 20 minutes. The short is dictated basically anything under 60 minutes.
Oh, really?
So,
okay, I didn't even know that. All right.
Like, if you're like at 58, 59, they'll probably maybe call it a feature film, but pretty much anything under an hour is considered a short. Okay. So these movies range way
dramatically.
Super dramatically, and yeah, a lot of these videos don't have as many views as you'd think too, and it really this is one of the best hidden gems on the internet. I feel like
that's cool.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of really cool stuff, and there's a lot of really cool stop motion animation and stuff on here too. So
nice.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, Sundance they have very good taste over there, so you can pretty much trust anything you're going to watch, you're going to probably remotely like.
So let me ask you, this is more of, I guess, a technical question, it surprises me that of the 3 or 4 things that 3 things so far that we've looked at, right?
Yep.
Sundance is the most recognizable, and maybe it was a partnership with Google, and maybe that's why they're on YouTube.
Yeah.
But Sundance is the most recognizable name as far as you say Sundance, and your average person at the bus station is going to know what you're talking about.
Yes.
And they're the one who is using YouTube as their vehicle, as a channel. At first I'm surprised, but then I'm thinking, Yeah, but YouTube is Google, so maybe Google made a pact with Sundance, and this is why they're doing it this way. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if they did. They probably did, honestly, because that'd be really smart in general, anyways. But it's like they're also not the only festival that's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
But Sundance is the biggest. Sundance and Con. Those are the two names that if you say it, people are going to know what you're talking about usually. Those are considered pretty much the top festivals.
And you'll know people aren't knowing what they're talking about when they call it cans, right?
Yes, cans or can or...
Canes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Con, guys. It's in France. It's not in America.
This is why our channel is called Artsy Fartsy.
Yes, exactly.
Because we'll say it any way we want to say it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some con stuff on YouTube too. It's just Sundance has really dialed it down. Same with South by Southwest, for those of you familiar with that festival.
Yep.
Really, really cool festival. I've been hearing some whispers it's really gone commercial though lately, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But another show.
Yeah. And that's not just a dedicated film festival either.
No, that's a whole. It's
a web experience, like
basic.
a web experience festival.
Yeah. Yeah. People, every app you name it was premiered there for your iPhone and Android. Pretty much, they have software, they have music. I know a lot of friends' bands have played down there. A lot of big bands have played down there too before they were anybody.
Well, that's become the mecca festival for all the social media people.
Yes, no, for sure. I mean, you name it for apps too. Like Foursquare was launched there.
Yeah. Well, the rumor was they were going to launch that music Twitter app there this time.
Yeah, and
it actually was launched right after South by Southwest.
Yeah, which is awesome. Have you downloaded it? It's an awesome app.
Yeah, I have. I just don't. My problem. This is a little side note, but But my problem is I don't do music that way. I'm not a social music person.
Yeah.
So I'm more social with film, to be honest with you, because I like to talk to people about films and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But music turns into kind of like this personal thing. Like, don't bother me. I just want to like what I like. That kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely. All right, let us go on to the next website. We have indiemoviesonline.com. Now, this is going outside of shorts, so this is more. They do have a lot of shorts on there. It's a great place for shorts, but you get a lot of free full features in here.
Really?
And a lot of free documentaries in here. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, like I said earlier, you get a lot of people who don't realize there's a lot of free movies to watch on the internet that's not illegal.
Yeah, I'm looking through the list here, and I mean, for people watching this, I mean, outside of Vimeo and YouTube, obviously, I haven't really been to many of these sites, so this is kind of why I asked Kevin to bring this up.
Yeah, so you got full features, that range from years, like there's a few from the 90s in there. A lot from early 2000s. It's a lot of stuff that necessarily didn't, especially before indie movies were in, for a while. These were a lot of the movies that you kind of missed out on in those years.
I'm actually seeing a short here. Oh, now you do have to sign up for this site before you can use it. Okay.
Yes.
But I actually just saw one that would lock me right in, which is from the guys who make Wallace and Gromit. They have a short on here. Mm-hmm. That's not Wallace and Gromit, and that's a household favorite at the Foster household.
I mean, that was I saw that at a film festival when I had to have been 8 or 9 with my dad and his old head artist, and we remember watching it and just being like, "That's going to be awesome,"
Yeah.
But if you just click over to the short films right now, the first 2 of the first 3 movies have David Tennant, Doctor Who himself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
it's pretty good.
There's some very good people in here.
Cool.
And it's a nice little gem. You do have to register for the website. It's a free address. They don't spam you. I signed up. They don't spam me.
Yeah.
It's a great website.
That's cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, so is there when you say it's indie movies, is there criteria that it's not a published movie in the sense of a block, like you're not going to see The Fifth Element on here, right? I mean, you're
No.
only going to see a certain genre of indie type movies, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just for any confused viewer out there, when we're saying an indie movie or an independent movie, we're not talking about the genre of indie movie that has become a almost quintessential term for like kind of quirky movies.
Right.
This is like without a studio backing, without a major financial backing from somebody in mainstream Hollywood. This is a bunch of people really believing in a script, coming together to finance it themselves or through somebody else, and putting a very good story together.
So it's not necessarily about a certain dollar amount or less. It's just that it's funded by people themselves. So let me ask you a question. Like the old story, and I've always heard this about Rodriguez there when he did Mariachi. He did it on a credit card, right?
Yep.
Is that considered an indie movie?
Yeah. No, it would be. I mean, if it's somebody taking on the debt themselves and not putting pressure on investors and stuff like that, especially out of Hollywood, it is considered an indie movie.
So what about the old what's his name? The guy who did the original, he did the Spider-Man movies, but he did the original Raimi. When he was doing the old Evil Dead movies, which were really like thin budget movies and stuff, were those? I mean, but I don't remember. Those must have had some kind of real backing, though. Was that an indie movie, or is that just kind of a cheap movie?
Usually, a lot of the movies like that were either cheap or very like not big studios backing them. There's always everybody's used to hearing the big studios, Universal, Warner Brothers, all those. There are smaller studios out there who can produce, who have enough financial backing to, do a shoestring budget feature. Okay. That's basically what happened with The Evil Dead. Gotcha. That movie, actually, it's funny that you bring that up because I don't know, for those of you familiar, they just had a remake come out.
Oh, yeah.
That was scary. That was actually terrifying.
Yes.
Whereas the original one's campy and funny.
Right.
They originally wanted it to be like the one that just came out. Okay. But their budget was so low, they're like, we can only make this funny with our budget.
Gotcha. Well, thank God they did that, because
exactly.
It's gone down. I mean, and God only knows what Bruce Campbell would be doing today if Sam Raimi did not succeed in that series.
Lord only knows. Lord only knows.
Because I gotta say,
it started his career.
But Army of Darkness is one of my favorite movies.
I love that movie.
and I love explaining to people who don't know it that Bruce Campbell, the name of the movie is Bruce Campbell versus the Army of Darkness, right?
Yeah.
That's the name of the movie. His name in the movie is not Bruce Campbell. It's Ash. And people, and I tell them that's how infatuated people were with that series, that if they got rid of, they had to promote the fact it was Bruce Campbell or people wouldn't have gone to see it, like that kind of thing. Exactly. So, that's great. I love stuff like that. So I've got big hopes for this indie movie channel one. It's great.
Yeah, no, there's some really good stuff. All right, so our next website that we got is filmshort.com. Okay. Now, this is not a well-designed website. I will say that to you up front. The navigation is a little confusing. Yeah. But there are some serious gems in here. These guys list a lot of stuff. If you go over to the shorts on their side menu, they list just random shorts just basically by page. Okay. But if you go down to winners, this is where
you're right. God, this is horrible navigation, huh?
Oh yeah, it's really bad. But if you go over to the winners little side menu, they will have all the Oscar winner shorts, all the Oscar winning animation stuff for animated shorts, Oscar docs. Same with Cannes. Yeah. They have films, animation, BAFTA, if you guys are familiar with those awards, Sundance, LA Shorts. They have a bunch of stuff in there. So
that's cool.
There's some really nice little gems all hidden in there. They're all very good movies on there. It's just you have to bear with the really badly designed website.
Yeah, and it looks like it pulls it in from different sources depending on what it is.
Yes.
So these aren't housed by this website. They pull it out.
No, somebody's curating this, more or less.
Gotcha. That's cool. But it puts it all in one spot, though. That's the nice part.
Yes. I don't know how often this website gets updated or if it ever gets updated anymore, but there's some great stuff on this website. And, there's enough stuff that I really haven't watched everything on this website either, you know?
That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's a nice little website. It's just you gotta bear with the
you would think you would think as much content is on here that they would have taken a little bit more time. With the look. But not everybody's a designer, you know.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of great stuff. You just gotta dig. You gotta dig really hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, another really great little website. And now just I have one more website that I really like that everybody's gonna know, but they don't necessarily know that it's on there.
Okay.
Is Hulu.
Oh yeah, okay.
Hulu.com. A lot of people are very familiar with Hulu. They usually watch it for the TV shows.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much every clip's on there. I know a lot of people have Hulu Plus, but there are a significant amount of movies on Hulu as well that are just free to watch that you don't need Plus for.
Okay. And they're full and they're the full movies.
Yes. They actually just put on Criterion movies as well.
Oh, wow. I'd watch that, yeah.
Exactly. So if you want to watch some really, really, really good, classic, critically acclaimed movies, Hulu now has a Criterion collection. And it's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's pretty much you name it on there for Criterion. Some of my favorite movies on there. Actually, let's see if they actually have my absolute favorite Criterion movie. Do they? Doesn't look like it.
What's that, though? What's your favorite?
Night of the Hunter. Night of the Hunter is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Night of the Hunter? I don't think I know that movie.
It's a very big film studies movie. It's one of those movies you study when you're in college.
Who made that?
Quizzing me on the spot. Hold on.
Oh, sorry. Hey, you said it was your favorite movie.
It is. It's just, I absolutely... It was done by a director who basically swore he'd never direct again.
Oh, okay.
Charles Lawton? Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Yes. Charles Lawton. He was a stage director. And this movie bombed when it came out.
Huh.
Bombed. And just swore off film for the rest of his life.
Really?
Robert Mitchum's in it. If you know who Robert Mitchum is.
Well, yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah. Robert Mitchum plays a very, very scary religious fanatic priest who basically marries a gullible widow whose kids are basically aware that their dad stole $10,000 and hid it.
Okay.
And Robert Mitchum's character was his cellmate when the dad got arrested and eventually executed for robbing that much money. And it takes place in the Depression era. And it's it is one of the most frightening movies I've ever watched.
Huh, I'm going to have to...
It's a straight, great thriller. Everybody see that movie.
I have to take my notes now. You know, it's funny, when I do other shows with the guys and we talk about paintings and stuff, it's kind of like I already know a lot of it, so it's kind of like I don't have to go away and do homework. And every time we've had one of these shows, I end up having my little list of, I got to go look that up. You know, kind of thing. So I will have to look that one up because I've never even heard of it.
It is you'll love that movie, Matt. It's seriously, it's shot in an expressionistic style kind of too. Yep. You see a lot of influence from German cinematographers from Expressionism, from their whole film standpoint. You probably know a little bit about that from painting history.
Oh yeah.
There's some beautifully done shots, beautifully lit shots. And there's a lot of literature on this movie too, so if you want to read some serious film critiques and stuff, great movie to start with.
Well, they have one of, I was actually going to bring up this film, and it looks like they have it. Is it on subscribe? Oh, you have to, how does this work? If you have Hulu Plus, you can watch it in HD, but if you have regular Hulu, you just watch it standard?
Yes, basically.
Okay. Well, have you ever seen this movie, Exit Through the Gift Shop?
Oh yeah, the Banksy documentary. I saw that.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
There, you can actually watch that one for free on HD on other websites. I think it's in HD on YouTube.
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix. I think it's on
yeah,
Netflix.
it is on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is a great documentary, especially if you're familiar with Banksy. Obviously, a must watch.
Oh yeah.
Even if you're not, you can watch it and still totally understand what's going on.
Yeah.
It was nominated for an Oscar, right?
It was nominated for something. I remember them making. I mean, in the art circles, they made. It's funny.
It did. Yeah, no, that was nominated for an Oscar. It got beat up by Restrepo because that was the same year, which was the very, very great war documentary. It's very hard to watch, but it's phenomenal.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
I'm not a. It's funny. Documentaries. It's either for me. I mean, typical for me, right? It's either a art documentary. Or then when my wife's involved, it's like a World War II documentary or something like that.
Yeah, there are a lot of World War II documentaries.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite documentaries is The Art of the Steel.
Oh, yeah.
And for anyone who is not, and talk about one that you see the results of it now, is that it's about it's about Philadelphia and the Barnes collection in Philadelphia and all the politics behind basically Philadelphia as a city screwing over the will of Dr. Barnes to get the collection into the town of, into the city proper of Philadelphia.
Yeah. And
it's a great movie. And granted, for me, I'm a fan of the Barnes. It's like one of those places where I went yearly, forever. Even now, like for Father's Day or my birthday or something, my wife and I will go down there. And then they just opened up the new place, so that what they talk about controversially in that documentary has actually come to pass now.
Yeah.
And so you can actually see the results of it.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So this is great. I never think of Hulu, to be honest with you, for film.
A lot of people just view it kind of as a TV website, and and we were just talking about the regular films. Hulu's also got a huge selection of documentaries. Absolutely giant selection of documentaries.
That's cool.
I got one more website that I think we'll be able to fit in.
Yeah, perfect.
That's a little different. So it's mostly a news and like short documentary channel.
Okay.
And it has got some very, very cool, controversial stuff on it. They just started a TV show with HBO, which is a half-an-hour segment they do on Fridays now, I believe. It's called Vice. Okay. They are an internet magazine as well. These guys basically talk about everything kind of off. They talk about, sometimes they do talk about certain kind of like drug epidemics in certain countries or just strange things or interesting people you wouldn't necessarily see in mainstream media. Okay. They also have a very great travel show by Eddie Huang, who just released a book not too long ago. It's on the New York bestseller list right now. He's a celebrity chef. Anthony Bourdain's visited him a few times in his show, if you're a Bourdain fan. I am. But his show on this is great, and it's in multiple parts, and it's very in the same kind of vibe as an Anthony Bourdain, kind of uncut, kind of uncensored, realistic view at a place when he goes to visit it. He's a chef. He owns a bunch of restaurants, so he really knows food. So the main focus is on food. But there's an amazing amount of documentaries and stuff on this, on just stuff that is absolutely fascinating. That is interesting, because it's funny that you say this, because we just saw a commercial. Well, it was coming on after, I don't know, something we were watching on HBO. Mm-hmm. And we're like, and stupid me, I thought it was a cop show. I mean, it's called Vice, right? What do you expect? Vice. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm sitting there thinking, we just like turned it off, went to bed. But God, I had no idea that like this. I'm on the site here. It's a huge amount of stuff. I'm shocked. Yeah, they've been doing this for a while now. So this is there's a lot of content onto here. One of my favorite documentaries is actually they have like I think it's in 4 or 5 parts, or maybe even 6, about the Haitian zombie. Oh, okay. Like they actually go and try and find a Haitian zombie, a real like Haitian voodoo priest, serpent in the rainbow type zombie. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, like an actual, like the scientific version. 'Cause they explain the whole zombie thing in it. It's absolutely fascinating, especially if you're into the more, creepier kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, they got a lot of other mainstream stuff. They have a lot of like cooking shows and travel shows like that. They also do a lot of extreme sports.
That's cool.
A bunch of artist interviews, stuff like that. There's a lot of really, really just strange, fascinating content on here. And
No,
I think it's the most...
God, you've just like destroyed my whole weekend. I'm going to be going through all these sites.
Like, there's so many random things on a lot of these sites that are just
That's
awesome.
cool. So now, does Vice show up on like the HBO apps and stuff or not?
It should be on HBO Go. Yeah, it's one of their series now.
Okay.
They're doing
cool.
this is like a test first season, and I think they just got renewed for a few more.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, no, and their shows I think their show's incredibly well done. They highlight a lot of very, very interesting news stories. What was the one I watched the other day? Oh, it was about the Pakistan and India, I think.
Okay.
Their whole hatred of each other, and they basically go into a DMZ and stuff, and it's crazy. It was absolutely bananas.
Wow.
There's a lot of really good... They go over just like such really fascinating things that are just offbeat and just out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through this. I mean, there's a lot of really off-topic type stuff on here that I mean, just cruising around, you can see it. Like it seems like that seems to be their niche, is the off-topic. Not what's being covered in your mainstream.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
They do a lot of stuff in Africa. They have a lot of documentaries about Africa down there. There's just a lot of very, very different things. Also, you might be interested, they're doing a whole collaborator series with Daft Punk for their new album.
Oh, really? Well, there you go. I'm hooked.
There's I think like 6 interviews right now.
Yeah.
Where they're talking to people who worked with Daft Punk on the new album.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and it's really good because they worked with some really cool people for this.
Yeah, I'll have to watch all that. That's my kind of thing right there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
But yeah,
great. Well, that's a lot to chew. I mean, I think no one can walk away from this episode saying that they had nothing to go home and look at.
Exactly.
So, well, that's awesome. I mean, any other sites before we wrap this up? Because that's a lot.
I mean, I do have plenty of other sites, but I think that's enough to digest for everybody.
Big time. Yeah, big time. That is fantastic. I mean, I'm it's funny because I'm actually going on travel next week, and now it's kind of like I'm going to spend some time this weekend and earmark a couple things that I'll actually... Are any of these sites the kind of thing where you can pull stuff down, or is it all streaming only?
I think Vice you can.
Okay. Well, the other stuff, if I can...
streaming only.
If I can hit them, via the web anyways, it shouldn't matter because I can watch them on my phone or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
well, check any of the Vimeo shorts, too. Sometimes the... filmmakers allow you to download it.
Oh, okay, cool, nice.
There's sometimes a download button right below. A lot of people just look over it, but I usually keep mine up for download, especially for me if I'm somewhere else and I need to like give somebody a copy.
Right.
That's one of those things that it's almost acts as like a second cloud storage for me.
No, I hear you. Well, plus you can at certain stages it makes sense to say, yeah, take it. If you want to take it, go for it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care.
So. All right, great. Well, thank you very much, Kevin. That's fantastic.
Sweet.
All right. Well, thanks. Well, that wraps us up, I think, for this.
Yeah, it does. Wow, we hit it almost on the head.
Episode 3 in the can. I can't believe it.
3.
We're it's funny because as the channel keeps evolving, Dennis and I actually we were scheduled to do it this morning and it fell apart, but we're about to do our 10th episode.
Wow.
Of Modern Our Family Tree. And I told him, I'm like, I can't believe, it's almost like I feel like I'm judging it in dog years because it feels like we've done it for a long time now. But it's only 10 episodes, But it seems like a major milestone,
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. How long is that one? You guys talked for a while on that one, right?
Yeah. I mean, usually between 40 minutes and an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're looking at like that's 10 hours of your life right there.
I know. But I mean, we're he and I both love it. When we get done,
Yeah.
we get all jazzed up to go look at stuff because we end up finding out things that the other guy didn't know. That kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, thanks again.
Yeah, no problem.
And until next time.
Until next time.
All right, thanks. I'll talk to you.